Hey YouTube, this is LaShawn Wiley with a new episode. This one will be entitled The Science of Managing Good Credit. And we are going to go over that also important topic of credit. I want to thank Mr. Great, I believe that's the subscriber who requested this one, because this is an important topic. And I know a lot of people have questions about this. So thank you for the request. If you guys have a request of a topic that you want me to speak on, go ahead and leave it in the comment section and I'll get started on it right when I see it. But this is a really important topic, and I'm actually going to, piss a lot of people off, a lot of companies off for doing this video, because I am going to show you and empower you on how to take care of your own credit. There are credit repair companies out there that do not want this information out there. So the way you thank me for giving you this information absolutely 100% free is by spreading the information. If you have a friend, link this video to them on their Facebook or something like that and have them look at this video. In your own family, teach your kids. If you have kids, teach them this information that I will be going over when it comes to credit, because they need to know this information. Spread the word throughout your community so that everyone you know will have this information. We all should have it. Now, before I jump into this today's topic, I want to remind you guys that I am still raffling off these AirPods. So go ahead and subscribe and enter into the raffle by going into the comment section and typing capital S, capital O, capital M, and then your username. All right, so capital S, capital O, capital M. That's the science of managing. All right, so let's jump right into it, you guys. I'm really excited about this topic because it's so important. Let's understand, or I'll help you understand how the credit reporting system works. And by the end of this video, I'm going to go over a lot of information, but by the end of this video, you are going to understand how to manage your own credit, how to keep your score healthy, and how to keep your score high. Okay? The first thing you need to know is what your score actually is. There's several ways for you to find out your current score if you have one. Credit Karma is what I use. I like them. I have no bad experience with them. I have nothing bad to say about Credit Karma. It's very convenient. It's right on my phone, and it's easy to use. Now, Credit Karma and a lot of these other companies that you use to get your free score is not going to match the score that you're probably going to get when you have someone run your credit. And I'll explain to you why a little bit later in this video. Credit Genie, I've never used them, but I've heard some good things about them. If you want to use them, go ahead and use them as well. And if you don't want to use any app or any computer program for your credit, then just go ahead and call the 3 major credit reporting bureaus and ask them for a free credit report. You are entitled to a free report every 12 months. And there's 3 companies. So in theory, not in theory, actually in actuality, if you contact one bureau every 4 months and have them send you a free report, you will be able to monitor your credit that way by looking at your report every 4 months and seeing if there's any change. Then you can call them directly and say there's a problem with my report, and you can start a dispute. Now, if you have Credit Karma, you can start a dispute right in the app. And this is another reason why I like Credit Karma, because it's very user friendly. The interface is comfortable and easy to use, and you can do a lot of things from the platform. So the 3 major credit bureaus are TransUnion. The phone number to TransUnion is 1-800-916-8800. Like I said, if you notice something wrong on your report, after you call them and you put in a request and you get the report, you call them right back and say there is a problem with an account here that I never opened, or there's a problem with a balance on my car that's incorrect. If you owe $12,000 on your car and it's showing up on your report as $17,000, you want to call them and fix that, because that can be stopping you from being approved for a loan, a credit card, or whatever, a line of credit. Equifax is the next one, and the number there is 888-548-7878. Call them 4 months later and get a free report from them. The final one is Experian. The number there is 888-397-3742. Okay. Now these reports will have a lot of information. Not only will it have, it will basically not only have all the accounts that you have, but it'll have every place that you worked. It'll have every place that you lived. So when you're filling out those job applications, you don't want to lie about where you work, because when they pull your report, your credit report, they're going to see all of that. Now, if you have no credit score at all, you won't have a file with TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. You won't have a file. So if you don't have a file, you don't have a credit score, because you don't have anything in your file to get yourself a credit score. Makes sense, right? So if you don't have a file, you don't have a credit. You've heard that saying, no credit equals bad credit. I don't agree with that, and this is why. No credit simply equals no credit, because no credit is better than bad credit. No credit could be fixed in 3 to 6 months. Bad credit may take a lot longer to fix. So I would rather have no credit than bad credit. Okay. Now, if you don't have credit, this is where it's bad, where they say no credit is bad credit. If you don't have credit, no one really wants to give you a shot and give you that first credit card, or that first car loan, or that first line of credit, because they don't want to be the suckers that take a loss on you while you get your first line of credit. They don't want to be the ones. They want to see someone else give you credit first. It's kind of like when you don't have a job, it's hard to get a job when you've never had one, because no one wants to take the risk. Now, this is easier and better than not having a job and getting your first job, because you can actually buy your way into this club. Okay? I'll explain to you in a second how to buy your way into this club. I already told you in your file, you're going to have all the places you worked, all the places you lived, and all the salaries that you make. So on that apartment application, you can't lie about your salary, because that's in your credit file when they pull your credit. Okay? If you do not have a credit file, you will not be able to start a Credit Karma account. I'm not sure about Credit Genie. You may not be able to start an account with them either, because I know with Credit Karma, if you don't have a file, there's no reason for them to, you have no credit score basically. So there's no reason for them to start up an account with you if you don't have a file with any of these people. Okay. So you need to have some type of credit established, or some type of open account, in order for you to have a file. And when you have a file, then Credit Karma will allow you access to their platform. Use of a secure credit card is how you buy your way into the club if you have no score. A secure credit card, if you have no score, is great, because you're going to use this, and you're going to use it the right way based on the information I'm going to give you, to set yourself up with a really strong score. And that score, I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, is going to range anywhere from 350 to 850. Good credit is around 680, just so you know. Okay, so the range is 350 to 850. You're going to use that secure credit card, and you're going to pay your payments on time, and you're going to make sure you don't overuse that card to establish yourself a really high score to begin with. But it takes 3 to 6 months in order for you to get a score to pop up. Now, once you open your secure credit card, the moment you open it, the very first week that you sign up and you get that secure credit card, and you ship off your money to the credit card company, or you walk into a bank and get a secure card, you will be eligible to then open up a Credit Karma account, because they have a file. One of these companies now have a file for you to actually open up a Credit Karma platform account. Okay, so 3 to 6 months for you to get a score, but immediately you'll be able to open up your Credit Karma account. And when you open up the Credit Karma account, it's going to be a line. It's not going to say 0. There's going to be just a line saying that you have no score yet, because you don't have a score yet. Okay. But you should get one within 3 to 6 months. Now, understand that the way TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian gets a score or calculates a score for you, they're going to base it on 5 or 6 different criteria. And we're going to go over 5 of them right now. And understand that not every item will be weighted the same way. Some things are going to harm your credit more than others, or improve your credit more than others. So you got to understand that. Some things can affect your score dramatically, while other things not so much. I am going to give you an example, a hypothetical example on how to understand how things are weighted. So this is not exact. This is just hypothetical. So don't jump down my throat for using these numbers. This is just to explain it, for you to understand how some things are weighted and can affect your score heavier than others. Okay? We're going to start with payment history, and we're going to weigh that one with 50 points. Okay? Payment history is basically how you pay on that account. If you have a late, whether it's a 30-day late, if it's a 60-day late, or if it's a 90-day late. So I'll give you an example. If you get a credit card and you missed the first payment because you never got the bill, it don't matter if you didn't get the bill, you still got to make the payment. All right, and you got to make it on time. So they don't care. You can't be like, I never got the bill. They don't care about that. If you don't pay it in the first 30 days and you don't pay it on time, that credit card company is going to tattle on you. They're going to say to TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, hey, this person didn't pay me and it's already 30 days late. And they are going to remember that and put it on your file. It's going in your file. Okay? And it's going to affect your score. So if your score was 600, now you're looking at something like 530, 520, 510. I'm sorry. If your score is 600, you're looking at a 550 now if you knock off 50 points. And this is just my hypothetical example, okay? But it can affect your score tremendously if you are paying late, even one time. They keep a record as long as you have that account open. If you have that account open for 5 years, they will mark every single month on if you paid it on time or if you paid it 30, 60, or 90 days late. You don't want it to ever show up. Some companies require you to go 24 months with without ever missing a payment in order for them to approve you for whatever it is you're applying for. That's how serious this one is. Okay? So do not pay late ever. The next one is collections, and this is a really big one as well. If you have one item in collections, and it don't even matter how much that item is, it could be for 50 bucks. If you have something in collections for 50 bucks, that will hurt your score. So your 600 drops down to 550 for one item in collections. If you got 2 items in collections, you're dropping down even more. Okay? So this is how big these two are. Now, if you have something in collections, call the company that has your item in collections and offer to pay them back the money. If it's 50 bucks, give them the 50 bucks. Get it out of collections. It's critical that it comes out of collections. Now, some of you guys may have something that's like too big. Like it might be like $10,000. And I'm going to be honest. I had a credit card when I first didn't understand much about credit and didn't understand much about how to maintain it. I had something in collections with a credit card company for $10,000. A lot of money, right? I called that credit company and I settled by paying them $5,000. A lot of times, if you call the agency that's holding your account in collections and you settle with them, they will accept a portion, maybe 60%, even as low as 50% of what you owe. Because for them, something is better than nothing. And when they bought that item from the company that you owed, they only paid a certain portion of it anyway. They bought it for a small percentage, and whatever they collect is just extra, whatever they collect from you. So this is why they're willing to settle for less. Okay. So yeah, I called them. I settled for $5,000 because I didn't want to pay $10,000, and they took it out of collections. Now, when you do this, though, this is the downside to settling. TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian will mark that item as settled. It will not be marked as paid in full. It will be marked as settled for less. And when a company run your credit, they will see that you settled for something, and they may decide that that's something they don't want to deal with. But it is 100% better than something in collections, because at least you went to the company and settled and gave them something, opposed to didn't give them anything and is sitting in collections. Collections will destroy your credit report, your credit score. So fix this if you have it on your report. Credit usage. Now, I'll use an example of a credit card. If you have a credit card with a limit of $3,000 and you're using $2,990 of that, that's going to hurt your credit because you're using too much of the credit that's available to you. That can hurt your score. And a lot of people don't know this one. They think since they have a credit line of $3,000 that they can use it all without any repercussions, but that's not true. So only use 1/3 of your available credit. That is your rule moving forward from now on. Do not use more than 1/3, even if it's a secure card. Actually, especially if it's a secure card, do not use more than 1/3 of your account. So you take your credit limit, divide it by 3, and whatever the answer is, don't go past that number. And in my example with the $3,000 credit limit, that's an easy one. My new number is $1,000. So I will never use more than $1,000 of that credit card. And as long as you do that, you won't be hurting yourself with your credit. Okay? This is a big one as well. Look how I weighted it. I weighted it 50 points. So these are the only 3 that I weighted 50 points. That's payment history, collections, and credit usage. These things, if you mess up in these areas, will destroy your credit. And understand, Credit Karma calculates their score differently than TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. And how a company decides if they want to give you a loan is different as well, based on what's on your report. So if it's a mortgage to buy a house, they're going to weigh it differently because they're going to have their own little calculations on how to weigh your credit worthiness based on what's on your score. So if you have something in collections that have to do with an apartment or a house or something like that, that might mess up your chances of getting a mortgage. If you have an eviction, that might mess up your chance of getting an apartment. If you have something on your report like a repossession, that might mess up your chance for getting a car. So depending on what you're asking for and who you're asking will determine, based on what's on your credit report from these 3 guys, if they are going to approve it or not. Okay? This is how you see some people with bad credit still get a credit card, because maybe the thing that's hurting their credit has nothing to do with a credit card. It might actually have something to do with an apartment that they kind of, forfeited on or something like that. All right. Now, age of your account is not weighted as heavily as these other 3 items are, but it can still affect your score. So I want you to keep an eye on this one. Now, the age of your account is basically what it sounds like, how long you had an account open. So if you have a credit card and that credit card has been open for 5 years and you decide you don't want that card anymore, don't close the account. Just rip the card up, shred the card, and maybe call them and reduce your credit limit. But don't close the account, because you could be closing a long account that's been open for a long time and start to hurt your score because you decided to close that account down. So just simply don't close the account. That's the best way to do that. Don't open up too many accounts as well, because if you open too many accounts, that can hurt your age of accounts, and it'll put a ding on your credit because you opened up too many too fast. So you want to open up maybe 1 or 2 credit items a year. Nothing more than that. All right. I skipped to the last screen, but there was one more thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, as far as that's lightly weighted, and that one is inquiries. Inquiries can also hurt you. That's weighted around 15 or 20 or something like that. Not as much as the big stuff, but inquiries can hurt you guys. Do not run your credit too much, because those inquiries will bring your score down. And I think you are allowed around 3 inquiries a year before it starts to affect your score. Don't quote me on that. But if you're just going around trying to get a credit card here and they say no, and you go to get a credit card there and they say no, these are hard inquiries that are taking your score down. So you don't want to run your credit unnecessarily. Now, Credit Karma gets your credit score by running what's called a soft inquiry. Now, a soft inquiry is not the same as a hard inquiry. A soft inquiry does not affect your score at all, but a hard inquiry does take your score down. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense for you guys. And all of this stuff, please review this video again if you need to understand some of what I'm saying here, and become more comfortable with how the credit system works and how the credit reporting system works. Okay, if you have any questions, please go ahead and leave comments, leave your questions. I'll be more than happy to reply to your questions. If you have a unique situation going on with your credit, please subscribe, you guys. I need as many subscribers as possible. Like and share this information. This information needs to be spread throughout the community for everyone to know it. And that way, there's no excuse for a person not to succeed, okay? And please leave your comments. I like to leave all of my videos with the same message, which is please succeed in life, no excuses. Don't let anyone stop you. Don't let anything get in your way. Because we are in charge of if we succeed in life or not another person, not a hater that's saying no to us. We are the ones that control our destiny and our futures. No one else does. Okay? You guys be good. Thanks for tuning in and watching this video. Hopefully you got something out of it, and see you guys next time.